You are onto a life-transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's Word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
A few days ago, I went to the police headquarters for something. Sit down. And then I was talking to one of the DSPs. We were just talking about a few stuff. I needed to get information about something. So we're just talking. And then while I was leaving his office, a very huge guy, very huge. I've always known him right from university days. He studied sociology. He was my level, I think. Very huge guy, but I was not in that department, but the same level. We graduated at the same year. Very huge, big. When I mean big, really big, huge, healthy. And then I saw him coming out just a few days ago, coming out of the, he was rushing into his Hilux. Big guy, works with the governor. And he saw me and like, man of God, how are you? I paused, we greeted, we shook hands. And then exchanged contacts. And he told me he was going to call me, find time to come and see me in the office or church or something. Told him I'll find time and come and see him. Got back home from the church yesterday and sat in my room. I was just looking through a few messages on Facebook and then opened, and I was saying, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace everywhere. Rest. And then his picture was right there. It's like, how? And then while I looked at it, there were shivers all over my body. I was like, somebody I just saw a few days ago. I don't know what happened up to you. I'm still asking, what happened? Was he sick? What could it be? When I saw it, you know what happened to me? I was reminded of the fact we are nothing but dust God is helping. Nothing but mere dust God is looking after. I went to take my bath. When I was coming out, I was just hearing ministrations in my spirit. And some of the things I was hearing was, if you know you are just like vapor, this your pride will humble. If you know that this your life is not in your hands, this your ingratitude will change. This your complaint. This your life of lack of thanksgiving to clear. You don't yet know how frail life is until someone close to you dies. It's someone you know, especially someone you just saw last night, just died. And you understand. And every minute you have, you owe thanks to God. And there was one I saw again. That's him last night. I don't know why I kept seeing all those kind of things. I don't know. It's viral. It's a viral picture. A guy who died, and they dressed him in a red suit. If you see the kind of suit they dress a guy, a red suit, put him a lot of necklace, and they put a crown on him with specs, and they put him on a chair to sit down on a throne. He sat down there, and people were at his funeral. I don't know how many of you saw that pictures. You don't search the internet. They didn't put him in the coffin. He was sitting down on the chair. And they had to figure his face to smile and put glasses on him, put crown, put red suit, and they gave him a throne to sit down. That was how they did his funeral. I said, see, after all this, you put him in the ground. The main area I want to get into this morning is to show you that there's life after here. And then what will secure your life after here is what you are investing in time now. Because there's time, there's eternity. That's the question I always ask. When a man closes his life here, where does he open it? I don't know why, but God help me. I felt burden in my heart to preach a message that will help some people, people who are going through whatever and they think God has forgotten them. But God is still telling me that this is... God help me. Which one? When a man closes his eyes here, where does he open it? And then when he opens it in the other world, what is the reward? Or what is going to be his faith? Life is temporal. We are pilgrims on the earth. This place is not our home. It's a temporal place. We are visitors here on earth. But the shocking thing is that so many people think we are going to be here forever. There are people who think we are going to live here for as long as ever. And then nothing will ever happen. We are going to live, achieve our dreams and ambitions, and then go. There are people who, like this guy told you something about this morning. I'm sure if he's still alive, you ask him, what are your goals and plans? He'll be telling you what he wants to do in 20 years' time, 30 years' time. He'll be telling you his visions, his ambition for his family, for his children. I don't know. It's like hell has broken loose on this generation, and the generation is actually sleeping. They don't know what the devil is doing. Like, things are happening and people think they are normal. Or Wednesday in service, I preached a message. I don't know, some people may have forgotten. It's Nigerian for you. Nigeria are very good with forgetting things. They get an encounter and then they lose it in a hurry. A man was preparing to go and preach in a funeral. Just dressed up in the morning with his suit, got his tie on, and then he was going to preach for someone who, for a family who lost someone. They were about to bury him, and then while he was about to step out of the house, he slumped and he died. And then the man who is going to officiate the burial of somebody just died. They took him to the hospital, they certified him dead, and then they sent message to the village that please find a way and bury your deceased. The man who was supposed to come and preach just died. And I'm asking God, what is going on? It was my daddy who was sharing. He was in that burial. He was the one who was sharing this story with me. And then he said, he doesn't understand it. And then my father, a man of his age, if he's telling you something, if he's telling you he's shocked at the kind of things happening, he has seen life before me. So over 30 years older than me. And then he's telling you that he's afraid. Not like he's afraid of something, but he's shocked at what is going on in this generation. Then I have reason to think twice and ask God, what is really going on? Your life does not end here. I need to let you know it, because if I don't teach you, if I don't show you life after here, you may end up preparing for life here and never preparing for life after here. And then the mistake of 21st century church is that they are not touching it again. They're not preaching it. They're not preaching it. Nobody wants to hear these things anymore. What people want to hear is faith, 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 faith. Hope, 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 hope. Blessing, blessing, blessing. That's actually what I wanted to preach this morning. Preach on something that deals with that. Blessing, blessing, blessing. Prosperity, prosperity, prosperity. Are they good? They are all beautiful. If you know this guy who died, I wish I could put his picture. If you know this guy, you can't talk to him. He's so hefty. When I was in campus, I was scared of him. How many of you know the guy I'm talking about? You've heard the story. Very popular guy. If I put his picture on the projector, most of you may have seen big. If you see his head, if you see how big the guy is, one of the governor's aides. A honorable. But death is a respecter of nobody. We are not saying you're going to die. Nobody's going to die. Don't worry. I know the covering you're under. But, Paul said, to live is Christ, to die is gain. What we are saying is that any bust of the thing meets you, let it be gain. That's what we're talking about. The biggest loss is not that a man dies, is that did he report on the other side of eternity? When we go for people's burial, when we cry, actually we do not cry because we just miss you earthly. That's not even the purpose for which I cry. I don't cry because I miss you earthly. No, the biggest cry is, did he make it? Do you know, oh God, there are some people who demise or who exit, and then you wish God gave them an opportunity. One thing you can't determine most of the time is how, look, hear this. If you get this message, you would sit up. You will sit up not just for yourself, you will sit up for your family members. You will sit up. The Bible talked about the rich man. I will soon get to that scripture. I think I need to show you. Please find it for me. I don't think I'm very accurate with the I don't think I'm very accurate with the verse, but I think it's in Luke. The story of the rich man and Lazarus. Find it for me. This was a message my pastor preached. Not actually the message, but this was some of the things he was saying. Just last week, I was with him in the convention, my pastor, Reverend David. And then he was talking about this issue of eternity. And then it was ringing so much of bell in my head. And the reason he was talking about it is, I think it was yesterday, they just buried one of the CEC pastors. One of the CEC pastors' wives in Dominion City. Dominion City. Pastor Law. You know Pastor Law? You've heard of Pastor Law? One of the CC pastors of Dominion City. The wife died a few weeks ago. She died to cancer. And then Pastor said they did all they could do. They prayed, they flew her abroad, they did everything, and yet she died. The wife of Bishop Paul Wachiko died some years ago, and then she didn't actually die because of sickness or anything. The woman died, and then they came back to life for a few minutes and told the people, God just took me beyond and showed me what that place is like. It's real. You people should prepare. I'm going. And then the woman had the opportunity of calling everybody who she had offended and people who offended her, forgave them, released them from her heart, and then the next minute she slept and left. I'm trying to find out where to start from. But what I'm trying to establish is that there are events you don't have control over. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? One of those events is death. We can pray for long life. I will show you some of those things that can guarantee long life in the service this morning. Because it looks like the devil is speaking young people everywhere. I'll show you a few things that will guarantee your living long on earth. If I get to that. But if I don't get to that, one thing I want you to get this morning is a consciousness of the fact that you're a pilgrim here on earth. And that when you begin to understand that, your attitude and your approach towards life will change. Your attitude towards your family will change. Your attitude towards everything will change. To be earthly conscious and a heavenly or eternity unconscious is the biggest foolishness a man can exhibit. That is, you're conscious of everything you want to achieve here on earth, but you are never conscious of eternity. You are not conscious of heaven. You are not conscious of the other world. I asked somebody, how can a whole woman like Pastor Law's wife just die? I thought we're immortality. I thought we have divine life in us. But God told me something that shocked me. He said, we think death is a disaster. He said, no. Death is simply transition of life. He said, death is not a disaster. He said, we're the one who think that way. He said, even the godly die. But we don't call their death. We call it transition. It's a transition to life. It's just like this, your body you're wearing is designed for this earth. It's not designed for eternity. It's designed for here alone. So when your body dies, the real you doesn't die. This body is not designed to ascend. It's designed to descend. To go down to the mother earth, because that's where it was formed from. That was where it was built from. And then what is even shocking is that is this one we have taken time to give attention to. We give sleep to this. We give all kinds of food, everything to this one. And then we hardly take care of the one that will actually report. So the devil keeps us busy pursuing things that are within the earthly realm. And then you see, some of you, the way you're listening to me now shows that you've not heard this kind of thing in a long while. Some of you are not even conscious about it. Some of you, your consciousness is awakening now. Like, Pastor, what are you talking about? Because you have not been used to hearing. What you've been hearing is receive your breakthrough. Go and do exploit. Let the power of God come on you. That's what you've been hearing. But are those things good? Yes. But you also need to be conscious of this other dimension. You know why? So that anywhere and anyhow it meets you, there will be no loss after all. The thing meets you young, there's nothing to lose. It meets you old, there's nothing to lose. It meets you average, there's nothing to lose. The world can be crying and crying and crying and say they miss you, but let heaven be saying they gained you. And then let some of us who know also be rejoicing and saying, oh, heaven has gained. Because at the end of this place, we're going to report there. And then, when I get to heaven, I'm going to be looking for some people I know. And it will be sad if people you knew on earth here, you don't meet them there. Imagine you are married, husband and wife. And then your wife went to hell. And you went to heaven. How do you think you'll feel in heaven? You'll feel good. You don't yet. We are going to embark on a little journey on eternity. Not today entirely, but maybe I'll lay the foundation. Let me read this scripture. One subject that is hardly taught in the church of the end time is eternity. Is hardly taught. And is fooling people. Fooling people. There was a certain rich man, Luke chapter 16 verse 19, there was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen and fed sumptuously every day. This is how some people are. The Bible says he was a very rich man. Is he bad to be rich? No. It's not bad to be rich. Wealth is God's purpose. Wealth is God's plan. Wealth is God's program for our lives. It's part of why Jesus died. There's nothing wrong to be rich. There's nothing wrong with making money. But then the issue about making money is this. Are you making money so money can be your God? Or are you making money so money can serve God? Are you making money so you can be flamboyant, you can be wealthy, you can be whatever? Or are you making money so you can use money as a tool to serve God? He said he was clothed in purple and fine linen and fed sumptuously every day. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, full of sores, who had laid at his gate. Lazarus is not my focus this morning, actually. It's a rich man that's my focus. It's not Lazarus. So go down. Desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. So it was that the beggar died and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. That's the issue. a man dies. Those of us who are still alive just see a dead body lying, but we don't know there's another transaction happening right before our very presence. You can't see it. Like Bishop Paul Wachuku's wife, according to the man, he was sharing this story. I was still alive when they were sharing this story. He said when the woman was dying, she was singing. She was saying, oh, lo and behold, see the legions of angels. See how beautiful they are. He said, can't you see, Daddy? He said, can't you see? He said, look at them everywhere here. They are smiling. They are even waving people. They are greeting people. They are waving at you people. They are greeting you guys. Can't you see it? And nobody could see it. And no one was like, oh, what a glorious. She kept doing the, oh, what a glorious. Oh, thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. She kept saying that and she slept. And then I can imagine the transaction going on. Other people would have been crying, but I can imagine the woman smiling. And they pulled her out of her body, and that was how they moved and ascended. Sometimes I imagine it. Sometimes I try to paint the picture. And then sometimes it makes me cry. So this guy died. The good thing about Lazarus the beggar is that he was a Christian, was that he had a relationship with God. Forget the beggar side. That's lesson for another day. The lesson I want you to get is that he died in the Lord. And then they collected his body and took him. The Bible said the rich man also died. What does that tell you? Death is a common destination that awaits all men. Whether you are a beggar, whether you are rich, whether you have degree, whether you don't have degree, whether you are beautiful, whether you're not beautiful, whether you are handsome, whether you're not handsome, whether you are proud, whether you are humble. It doesn't matter whatever you are, whether you are a governor, whether you are a senator. You have a BSc, you don't have a BSc, you are a lawyer, you're not a lawyer. That's why I said, the moment this thing downs on you, your life will change. Your approach will change. Your behavior will change. Your countenance will change. Your relationship will change. Things won't move you like it moves others. Do you know who I am? Just trying it out. Devour you here. Hey, not when you understand that you are vapor. I have degrees. I have PhD. I have MSc. I have this one. I have that. Not when you understand you can't carry them beyond here. I've built mansions, I've built estate, I've built this, I have this, I got this, I got this. Not when you understand that all these things you end up acquiring, you are waiting for fire. You know, the Bible says, broad is the way that leads to destruction, but narrow is the way that leads to life. That means there are few people who travel the road of life, and then there are many people who travel the way of destruction. And then I keep looking at our city, I keep looking at our society, I keep looking at people, everywhere. And then the question I keep asking is, oh Lord, how many of them are ready? You see them on the road, they go to church, they dress fine, they go to school. How many of them are ready? There's some kind of exit that happens so suddenly, you don't have the opportunity of making a repair, and the Bible says there's no repentance in the grave. Once your eyes shut here, it's gone. There are some that God, maybe, by virtue of whatever, I don't know, experience mercy, and then they are able to make peace with God before they transit. Just like the man who was hanging on the cross with Jesus. Before he died, at least he had that opportunity to amend. But I wish we all know how we will go. I wish we all know how it's going to happen. then we can afford to do whatever we want to do. And then once that day comes, we'll now decide how to go. You can't tell. Okay, I give an example. When I traveled, sometimes last year in August, and I was coming back and I had a very serious motor accident. But that was not my time. So I couldn't have gone. And of course, I can't die in a motor accident. Okay, let me assume in God's program, that was my time. You know, that accident was sudden. Anybody who told me it was going to happen, if you've ever seen accidents where it happened, it doesn't take half a second. Piam, it has happened. And then, piam, that's how the one I was involved happened. And I was driving. In a split second. Look at me doing 120 on the road. In a split second. This was how this car just came from nowhere. Fiam. Inside the road, and we collided. And then the question I keep asking is, what if that was my end? Do I have the opportunity of saying, Lord, please forgive me before I move? And can I shock you? If you are in Christ, the goal of the devil is to take you unaware. Because truth, he will do everything to ensure. That's why I'm going to show you at the end of the day 3 things that will keep you under security this end time. You want to be alive, and after life, you are going to live here and meet with God, and He's going to give you a handshake, a palatial handshake, and say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Can I tell you something? I'm making a decision in my heart now. Not one. There are things that take people to hell. You'll be so shocked. Most of them are not as big as you think. Small things you don't know about. Very little thing. Can I tell you? Offense can take people to hell. Doesn't matter whether you're in church or outside church. As little, we will take a journey on this, and I'll show you. Offense. Small offense just creep into your heart. Last night I told God, all the people who hurt me, I owe them an obligation to forgive them, not to relate with them. I can forgive you. You know why? Not for your good, for my own good. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? For my own good. You die with somebody in your heart, with bitterness in your heart, you're going to hell. You die with offenses in your heart, you're not going to heaven. Hell is biblical. For this rich man, what was his own reason? That's what we don't get. Some people keep saying, oh, because he was a rich man, Lazarus is a poor man, heaven is for the poor, and then hell are for rich people. And I say, you are joking. Heaven is both for the rich and the poor. Hell is also for rich and poor people. For the rich man, the Bible said the rich man also died and was buried. I'm sure at the funeral, the president was there, governors were there. I'm sure at the man's funeral, people had all kinds of things to say about it. Have you noticed in funerals, everybody has something right to say about you? Have you noticed it? Nobody ever says anything bad about a dead man. Have you noticed that? In fact, when you are alive, nobody knows. Nobody cares about your good side. They all want to know about your bad side. How come when you die, all your good side comes out? When a person dies, all his good side come out. Oh, the guy was this. Oh, he used to be this. He was a brother. He was the one that did this for me. That's when we hear all kinds of things. And then it ends up deceiving all of us. We now think, okay, that is a celebration. But are they celebrating you the other side? That's the question. Can I say this without mind saying what? Everybody in this hall, you have all gotten to the stage and the age of accountability. If you die now, if you leave this world now, you will report in either of this eternity, heaven or hell. I want to open your ears and let me shock you now. There was a revelation shown in a meeting I attended, and then they were showing us young children in hell, teenagers in hell. If you open the internet now, open the media and see what is going on in the world, you know the devil has tripled his work. He has tripled his capacity. He has tripled his activity. He has tripled what he's doing to ensure he populates hell and depopulates heaven. And the majority of the people who are reporting are young people, small boys, small girls. That's why I think God is raising me for this cause primarily. To sound the warning bell and show people the main thing to live for and the things not to live for. Because whether you like it or not, if you exit from this world without making peace with your maker, without pleasing your maker, forget it. I'll show you a scripture where the Bible, in the same Luke, where the Bible was talking about, do not let your heart get overcharged by the pursuit of this world, by the things of this life, and then that day meets you unaware. Find it for me as I'm reading this one. Be searching that one. It says, so the rich man also died and was buried. 2 men, both of them died. Now verse 23, and being in torments in Hades. Can you see this? That's a rich man. The Bible says he was in torment, in hell. And then what did he do? He lifted up his eyes and saw Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. The same Lazarus who was sitting by his side. The same Lazarus who was begging him for food. The same Lazarus who was depending on him for his daily upkeep. Him, he was eating flamboyantly. This guy was suffering. But now an exchange has taken place. This one is in heaven. This one is now in hell. And the Bible says he lifted up his eyes and he saw from afar off Father Abraham and with Lazarus in his bosom. This is the man who had issues in life. Finances were not working. Business was not working. Family was not working. Education was not working. Everything was not working. But he kept intact his relationship with Christ. He kept intact his relationship with God. He kept intact eternity in mind. This other one got carried away with all the wealth and prosperity, with all his itineraries, with all his activities, with all his schedules, and they forgot that there's life after here. That is the mistake in the 21st century. You know, your world is now full of all kinds of attractions. Social media, all kinds of internet futures, all kinds of cosmetics, all kinds of designers. You have all kinds of everything you need now is available. Everything you need available. And then people don't have time anymore to think about what happens after here. All these things I'm pursuing at the expense of my eternity. What happens if that day meets me unaware? Just like the rich man had all the time to think about every other thing. He was thinking about his stock market, perhaps thinking about his business, about his estates, thinking about everything. Everybody concentrate and listen to me. This is one message Satan doesn't want you to hear. How can we be very small children? 24 years, 25 years, 30 years, something is going wrong. And we are still normal about it. I attended the burial of a small girl in Ikwo. How old? 24 years. And the question I ask is, this one, everybody is crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. Where is this lady reporting to? That's my issue. And then what did she get into that killed her? Can I shock you? Every need you have is a trap for the devil. Every need you have. You better open your ears and hear. Because the devil is setting traps everywhere now to devour young people and destroy their lives in eternity. Why? Because this is the generation that God prophesied will do great exploits. I don't care what is going on in this age. I don't care who is offending or who is not offending. I don't care who is believing in Jesus or who is not believing in Jesus. I have chosen to keep my focus and my gaze on the cross. I have chosen to keep my focus and my gaze on eternity. I have chosen to keep my focus and my gaze on the coming of Jesus, his second return. How come you believe that Jesus came, died for you, resurrected, and then gave you salvation, and you don't believe he's going to come back again? You are a Christian. You believe so much that Jesus came here, died for you, was buried, and then ascended. How come you don't believe he's going to come back again? Every day, open your Facebook. It will shock you. One small boy, they're advertising that he died. One small girl, they're advertising. And then go and check why. You will see all of them have their hands in some things that is destroying them. Young boys and girls of nowadays are putting their hands in deadly stuffs. Satan agents are everywhere. Some of them are young men. Some of them are in the political class. Some of them are in the business class. Some of them are... Did you watch that video? Oh, I don't know if I sent it on the church WhatsApp group. Did you watch that video of a senator or a member, a senator or a commissioner? Some have forgotten. Okay. In Osun State, is that it? Who was caught naked on camera, washing himself with blood. They say he killed 7 ladies. I think that's the story. I forgot it. How many of you watched that video? How many of you heard that story? That day will hit you unaware. See how you don't know anything going on in your generation. Who is a wise man? A wise man is that man who has the Bible in one hand and the map of the world in the other one. He has the Bible in one hand and has newspaper in the other one. If you don't know the trends going on in your generation, that day will hit you. And you can't appear before God and say, God, I did not know. It was so close. I didn't know this thing was going to happen like that. Please, can you give me back the projector? I'm even going to show you some things. When that man was in torment, I'm going to show you the prayer he prayed. So that you understand that the way you report here, God is not going to be listening to any excuse. God, are you saying that there's no reward for me? I'm not interested. Can't you see your works have been burnt by fire? Say, but God, I was going to church. You say, it's not church we're talking about. Church is not in the building. Where are your works? Where are your souls? Where are the people you saved? Where are the people you equipped and you discipled and you sent them into the field? And like, God, I didn't hear. Say, but you had your pastor preaching it to you. How come he didn't practice it? A senator of the Federal Republic was caught on camera. I have it on my phone. They caught the man. Video. I have the video. He was naked from head to toe, completely naked. And then he was caught in the market square at the middle of the night with buckets of blood, bathing himself, preparing for 2019 election. See what is going on. 2019 is just around the corner. Disappearances of people everywhere, deaths everywhere, and then you think they're normal. Is human sacrifice going on? You are living in a world that is so wicked. People are capable of doing anything just to fulfill their ambition. There's a lady I have on my Instagram. For some time I've not even seen her again, but she's still there. You know what she does? Her own work is very simple. She sells charm, and she's not afraid to say it on the internet. She sells charm, love charm. You want to get a girl that has been hard to get, just collect charm from her and then rub it on your whatever. Touch the girl, she will follow you. You want to get a guy that has been hard to get, just find a way, get to the lady, get her charms, rub it on your body, touch the guy, he will follow you. That's what is raining now. So when you hear about some mysterious disappearances of some young ladies, you don't understand how it happened. Some ladies who just died for nothing. There are ladies who are busy looking for who to take them to ShopRite. I've seen ladies who entered a car and that was the end of the story. Young ladies. Because the devil will use your needs to get to you. That time you are having financial need, be careful. That time you are having money needs, be careful. You're having issues with your school, you don't know how to meet up. That's where the devil will just push for you one cute bobo, and you'll be seeing bobo outside, not knowing what is inside. He's an ambitious demon looking for who to devour. So many things going on in this age. So many things. The Bible says in the last days, people will be given to all kinds of strange lusts, all kinds of wild affection. They will become lovers of themselves more than lovers of God. It's not ordinary. The devil is winding up his agenda.
For the continuation of this message, please play the next track.